This is my walkthrough for my Rails assessment app. It's a content management system for Manchester Makerspace. I set up a login, so if I try and access, I can see the main members. The whole purpose of this database is to track what members are allowed to use what workshops. So you can get a list of members and their allowed workshops without signing in. I wanted that feature to be nice and quick, but to go any further, you need to sign in. So I set up OmniAuth with Slack and Gmail, and then use Devise for the local setup. I'll use Slack right now to sign in. I also have it targeted to the Makerspace's team account on Slack. Um, Eventually, I'm going to change this app so that you can only sign up by being a member of our team. So here's the home page. Um, it has a little bit of administrator data. This Will Lynch account is an administrator, and because of that, I can do things like edit profiles. When I edit a profile, I can edit everything from their name to what skills they're signed off on, what level they are on skills that excuse me, they have been signed off on. I can create new workshops. I can um, edit any skill and workshop in here as an administrator. But some of these other features are also available to what I call officers. Um, so for each workshop, there's someone in charge, and they're considered the officer. For 3D printing, I am the officer of 3D printing. Um, and I'm not the officer of metalworking. Excuse me, metalworking. An officer isn't set for that yet. On casting, Ryan R is the officer. Since I'm admin, I can access all of these. But the difference is, if you're an admin, this brings you to a page where you can change the name of the workshop, select an officer, add or remove skills, create new skills, all that kind of stuff. Whereas if you're only an officer, not an admin, then when you click this, it only lets you do the skills portion. So you can add, let's see, that's most of it. There's an edit personal account. So throughout this whole thing, I don't want people to be able to edit their email accounts. That ties into some other things we do with the Makerspace, where we keep your same email account. But you can change your password, and you can change how your name is written, and everyone can do that for their own account. Um, but not everyone can edit like this. Um, Another feature, if you're an officer or what's what I'll call an expert on a field, you're able to train people. So since Will Lynch is the officer of 3D printing and woodworking, I can train like Dan on this. He's currently already signed off on turning the machine off. He's a novice. I'll sign him off on turning the machine on, and right now you can see he has one skill red and one skill green, but overall he's not allowed to use the workshop. Now if I go and I train him on the other skill, then he will be able to use the workshop. Um, yeah, and you can make them pros and experts. The idea with expert is that they can then train other people. It just makes them bold down here when they're signed off and an expert. Um, yeah. So to show you what it means to be an officer of something. So instead of these are all admin features. If I sign out and I sign into a different account on here that I made, here we go. Ryan is the officer of casting, so he can train everyone, not just himself, on casting. So we'll teach Jenna to try not to set things on fire. And then in workshops, I don't have the create workshop button. I can't do anything in these other workshops, but if I go to casting, I can add new skills. When I add a new skill from the workshop page, it's automatically attached to a workshop. I can add and edit and remove skills over here. And when I edit the workshop, I can only edit skills as a whole. I can't edit the name of the shop or who the officer is. Those are only admin functions. So yeah, this is what will allow the makerspace to find out and make sure that the people that are using the equipment are allowed to use the equipment, and that the right people are signing people up to use that equipment. Yeah, and then one last thing, when we have a bunch of users, this little search function will let you search by their ID, name, or email. Name is the most common one, um, and all it does is just shorten this list down for you. And that's it.